Good evening, everyone.
What's up?
What's up?
Appreciate y'all stopping by tonight. I'm going to let you take I'll shut up.
When do you ever be quiet? Actually, he used to always be quiet until I unwrapped him like an onion. Layers.
Yeah, like an
might be for another show.
Oh, are we live? No,
Is that out loud?
Was that out?
That was a killer intro. That was great.
That was
Yes,
definitely bad
Great
arse.
job.
Thanks. I think I made that. I don't know if it was last year or.
Yeah, when I used to do lives on the Bigfoot Lake channel, she made that intro for me.
Yeah, for you.
And I bequeathed it back to you.
I don't like that word.
It's a word. I looked it up.
Bequeath.
It is a word. It's a weird word, though. I don't know. It's confusing sounding.
It's. I actually thought he said something else one time. I'm like,
I didn't. All right, another show.
Again, another
for
show.
another show. Yeah.
Right. All right. Well, anyway, everyone in chat, hello. This is Dewey and Kyle. If you don't know who they are, Kyle is he has a channel called Encrypted Connections. Encrypted Connections. And Dewey has his own channel, Dewey the Dewster. It's Dewster. Now, let me get this right. Dewster, Cryptid,
and Critters.
Cryptids, and Critters. Paranormal.
Paranormal, right. That's it.
Okay.
You said that so fluently.
No, I did not. I really struggled because I blah, 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 my tongue gets in the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So is it Dewey or Dewster's?
Either one.
All right.
It's Dewster. It's
Dewster.
Dewster.
His channel
Dewster.
says Dewster. Yeah, the Dewster.
All right.
Yeah, but Dewster, he's a brave man because he's Kyle's co-host. And what was it? Someone's got to keep him grounded.
Yeah, I think he's got him busy building bunk beds and stuff.
But yeah, he's definitely building bunk beds. Yep.
Right.
We do kung fu in the garage together a lot.
I need grounding too, so that's why I have Bigfoot over
An electrician.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, there you go.
Yeah, because he can keep me grounded or remove my shorts when needed. Oh no, not that way.
Oh,
the shorts and the electrical. Okay.
There you go.
This is going off the rails
electrically
quick.
grounded.
They grounded. Okay.
I talk cryptids. Good to see you, my friend.
I talk.
Yeah, buddy. What's up?
I was just talking about you the other day again. Yeah.
Carson, how are you, man? Great to see you.
Carson here, Hope here. Good to see you.
Very good to see you, man.
Yeah.
Ruben D.
I'm gonna go up to
guys.
the top.
You're gonna be saying how you just want to say it instead of putting them on screen, or you do what you want. It's your channel.
Thanks.
Bundy.
Cat, Lori, E-Rev. I love owls.
You skipped me.
Yeah. Ruben, Bubble Bibble, Dana, Pat, Evans, Carson and Marlene, Susie D, Al Bundy, Hope. I said Pat Evans.
Carrie Henderson.
Yep, Carrie Henderson. And Lisa Starry. And Al Bundy, I think I said that. Dana B, Rose Young. I taught cryptids. I think we're good. I think we're all caught up.
Yep, the smoke alarm guy.
The smoke alarm guy.
I've got to laugh real quick. Al Bundy, the way he wrote Dewster is so. I drove through Worcester yesterday. If you've ever seen how Worcester is spelt, it's like Worcester.
Yeah, like
sauce,
so right. So the way that he spelt Dewster definitely just had me laughing.
The Worcestershire sauce.
Yeah.
The Worcestershire sauce.
Yeah, Worcestershire sauce. I'm like, how did they miss like 3 syllables in this word? Just skip right over them. They're like, yeah, we don't believe in E's, and we're good.
Goodness. Hi, Connie Carlo. All righty. Well, anyways, so
What made you pick these crazy to come on your channel?
She wanted to get shut down.
Oh, no, I've had my fair share of going in the naughty section. I forgot how many times I've been in a week's timeout. Don't want that.
Can I ask like the first question?
Please.
Okay. Bigfoot, Mothman, Jersey Devil. You got to marry one. You got no, just kidding.
You're gonna scare
Ooh,
me.
that I was nervous there for a minute. Holy cow!
Okay. Would you guys share as close as you're comfortable with? Where are you guys from?
Dewey, go ahead.
I'll go ahead first. Yeah, I'm from Springfield, Tennessee. I was born and raised here. Met my wife there. We got married 52 years ago.
God bless.
We just had a 52nd wedding anniversary back in September. And let's see, we have 3 daughters and 5 grandchildren. Keep us kind of busy, but that's life.
Did you say you have $3?
If you got 5 grandchildren, you've only got $3. I can.
Yeah, that's what it said. He said I got $3 and 5 grandchildren. That makes sense.
Well, if you got $3, you only have $3 left.
True.
Yeah.
You good?
I'm good.
Okay. So I'm from southeastern Connecticut. Pretty much born and raised here, and I've been a fan of the topic for a long time, and just kind of started the channel about a year ago, and was doing, started the investigation stuff really heavy about a year ago also. I am a boring 40-something-year-old man outside of doing Bigfoot investigations and cryptid investigations and paranormal stuff. My life is pretty dull, and I'm okay with it.
That'll keep you busy anyway.
That's right. I get my excitement there. That's all I need.
I'm a guest, so you have to ask me too.
I have to ask you where you're from?
Yeah.
Where are you from?
Well, I was born at a very young age, and thankfully I was born close to my mother.
Real close.
So, Ohio.
I was actually
it's already, man. Already.
You were born.
I was actually born in jail.
Where?
I was born in jail.
Come on.
Yeah. Yes, the old hospital I was born in, previously the old jail in Robertson County.
Oh,
and
wow.
They built a new jail and they converted the building into a hospital. And the maternity ward and everything, delivery room and all was upstairs. There was no elevator. This is back before elevators. And they put my mother in one of these old ladder back type chairs, like a old cane bottom chair. And 2 orderlies packed her up the steps up in the delivery room. That's where I was born. So I was actually born in jail, actually.
That's so cool.
But
you taught that?
I got nothing.
Nope.
I had close to your mother.
Yeah, I'm from Southeast Ohio. Currently moved to the Adirondacks with this crazy gal.
Currently,
best thing ever. So,
yeah. Is it?
Yeah.
Yep.
So, what about you? Where are you from?
Adirondacks. I'm a local redneck.
Oh, nice. Very nice.
Yeah.
Never heard that term before, but I like it.
Oh, redneck? I actually thought I made it up, but then I saw somewhere else, like, I don't know, like maybe 2-3 years ago. I thought I had made it up.
Just hold on to that. Don't let them take that from you.
Yeah, they probably heard it from me.
Yeah, they probably did.
Yeah.
They probably
I don't care. I like throwing phrases out there and letting them catch and watching them, go right across to the neighboring countries even.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's you've contributed a lot to pop culture.
Yes.
Right.
Pop culture.
Yep.
Like popping bubbles.
All right, we'll go with that.
I don't know.
I think I definitely coined a term about the place where I'm from. I call it patheticate.
Pathetic.
Yeah, it fits well. It's a
Kinda
really, really pathetic state. It's awful.
Kind of like pathetic in Massachusetts.
There you go. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's a really terrible state. The only good things about this state is like we have the water. There's some, New England. I'm on the shoreline. We have water, the ocean and whatnot. So that's nice. And we have the best pizza in the world. New Haven style pizza is the greatest pizza in the world.
I don't know. We might.
We're not going down this road.
How come we're going back to food again? Now, what did Alex say
we gotta
today?
stay away from the food.
What did Alex say?
I'll tell you, everywhere we go, here, bushcrafts, there's you guys, it's always about food. You can start on one subject and somewhere lands the food.
Hey, man's got to eat.
Yeah,
man's got to eat.
I cooked and my mom cooked tonight, so there's that.
It's Hope's fault.
Look at Hope. Hope's comment is spot on. I think this might be the record. It only took 12 minutes for Kyle to mention pizza tonight.
I mean, that's pretty good.
Hey, Free Hanley.
Pretty good.
Hi, Free Hanley.
And Bubba News, good to see you.
Bubba. Let's say hi to a couple of people there.
Salty Explorer.
Hi, Salty.
My guys, Rev and Salty, what's up?
Jeff is here.
Mr. Bear Truth, good to see you.
He came in for the food. And I said hi to Lori's World, didn't I? Well, if not, I'm pretty sure I did. Lori, Dave, and Mima.
Yeah, appreciate you.
Bear Truth sounds like they're about to have a really fun night right now.
Sounds like going to be a heck of a New Year's party, don't it?
That's right.
Yeah, that would be Jeff and Dixie. They're really close to our heart. They're pretty cool.
So I got a
fun night. What?
A fun fact.
I got a fact.
Okay.
Did you guys know? I know you all know up here.
The Muffin Man?
No, in the chat. Did you guys know that Dewey is an author of many books? Many books. I'm going to have him say the names of the books, and you can find every one of these books on Amazon.
Let's talk. Make sure that you save the best for last. Save the newest one for last, because this book that he just wrote he's been working on this for quite a while, and I know that it means a lot to him. He's put his heart and soul into this project, and I really want people to go check it out, buy the book. He really did a lot to make sure that this gentleman is remembered as an American hero. So I think he deserves his just due. Sorry, Dewey, I had to say it.
That's okay. That's okay. Yeah, I've written 10 books. The first one I did was actually the Bell Witch book. It's called Something Wicked, the Bell Witch Phenomenon. And I was working on 2 books at once while I was doing this one. And I got it published. And then the next one I did, I've got over 20 years of research just in the one book. It's about the early murders of Robertson County, Tennessee, 1810 through 1910. It's called Execution of Murder. And I went through all of the court cases, all those, it was 100 years, and wrote down all of the jurors, anybody involved in the case. We had over 100 murders in 100 years. And some of them were very cruel, all of them were cruel actually. But I mean, some of them were, one of them involved the lynching of 10 men after it was all over. And that was the second book I did. I'm trying to remember all of them. I did one called Trials and Tribulations. That's about some other little murder cases and all that it didn't get in my other book I found later on. Little things like the night the stars fell, the great earthquake of 1811, 1812, and a few things like that I put in there. And I did one on Colonel Cyrus Sugg. He was a Civil War colonel. He was a very outstanding officer. His qualities were recognized pretty early in life. He got promoted to colonel pretty quick, and paperwork was on Jefferson Davis's desk to make him a brigadier general. And he got wounded at a Missionary Ridge, and they was going to take his leg off, and he wouldn't let him. And he was getting better, and then suddenly, I guess something broke loose. It went to gangrene, and he ended up dying from blood poisoning. but before they could ever serve, get the papers filled out on him. I did one called Vigilante Justice. That was the the Reconstruction period after the Civil War in Robertson County, and we had a lot more lynchings, murders, beatings, all kind of stuff on that one. And I have to go back and get a stack of my books.
You did Season of the Critters.
I did a Season of the Critters. It's about not UFOs. It's about critters in Land Between the Lakes of Robertson County. It's broke down with each county and state, with the sightings that was there. There's some numerous sightings in Land Between the Lakes there in Kentucky and Tennessee. I did one Eye in the Sky. That's my UFO book. The first part of that book is first half of it is the Captain Mantell plane crash where he was chasing a UFO. And the new book I've come out with is it's called well, help me out here, Kyle. I had a brain fart there for a minute. What?
12 o'clock high.
12 o'clock high. I'm 12 o'clock high. I've got so much on my mind right now. It's been a heck of a day. I've been fighting TV and electronics all day long today. But
that's enough to make your brain.
It is. It's 12 o'clock high. The whole book is about the Captain Thomas Mantell plane crash where he was chasing a UFO. And I dug up every photo I could actually find. His grandsons did the forwards for me in the book, both of them. I got to meet them at the dedication ceremony last year, January the 7th in Franklin, Kentucky. It is now Captain Thomas Mantell Day. And but I got every photo I could find, every newspaper article, every clipping, everything I could find about him. I even got into his family genealogy and put a lot of that stuff on there. His grandfather and his father were both World War I veterans. He joined the Army when he was 20 years old, and he went overseas. He flew on D-Day, Normandy. He was towing gliders. His plane almost got shot out from under him. In fact, they shot almost the tail off of it. They damaged one wing real bad. It broke the cables in the back of the plane that controlled the plane. And he knew something was probably going to happen when he turned that glider loose, because he's using that glider for drag to help maintain the plane. But he did get to the landing zone, released the glider, and did make it back to the base. And after he got landed, they come out and told him, "There's no way you flew this plane. The wing was shot off of it, and this was a C-47 Skytrain. And there's no way you could have flown this plane," but he did, But he got the Distinguished Flying Cross for that, and he got, I think, 8 or 9 more different medals during his service. But he wasn't a crop duster. He wasn't just some sky jockey out, chasing something. He knew what he was doing. Right. And they say he went too high. He didn't have any auction. It was a P-51 Mustang. And say he went too high and crashed. Went too high, went out of auction, and then blacked out and crashed. There was a rumor going around that he may have tried to maybe come back to and tried to get the plane back up. But and the newspaper articles say that the plane exploded in midair. Plane did not explode. One of two things or both things happened. He either broke the sound barrier coming down. He was at 30,000 feet, and then this plane goes into a nosedive straight down to the ground. And I guess when it hits, it hits free air. But he's either hits the sound barrier, which is a possibility because they said the P-51 Mustang was bad about at Mach 0.8. The tail section vibrated badly. Anything above that, the tail section would break off. The tail section came off the plane on the way down and landed several hundred yards away from where the crash happened at. Another thing that it could have happened too, and it did happen, it was the engine light. The engine blew up. That's what the explosion they heard, was the engine blowing up. I know that for a fact. The engine was not running when the plane hit the ground, because there was two. Just the engine weighs 1,600 and something pounds on front of this lightweight P-51 Mustang, and there's no way that the plane was running when it hit the ground, because there was two blades still left on the prop, and one of them was down in the ground. You figure the plane at 12 o'clock, the prop, but the blade was still there. The one at 6 o'clock was still on the prop dome. The one that would have been at 3 o'clock and 9 o'clock were broke off completely and landed beside the plane, which tells me that engine was not running when he hit the ground. So the engine locked up on it. Plus, they said there was a lot of smoke and everything from the engine when it hit. But I talked to the three eyewitnesses. So two of them were 7, and one of them was 4 at the time, and they actually witnessed it when it crashed. And but I've got all their information. We are doing a documentary on it. Small Town Monsters is going to do a documentary on it.
Very cool.
In fact, they were going to publish my book for me.
They're nice.
They're cool.
Yeah, they're really nice people.
But I didn't want to give them full control of my book. I've self-published 9 of them, and kind of when they asked for my copyright and the right to change my book up, I said, no, sir, no.
Yeah.
We'll do the documentary, but I'm doing the book myself. So that's why I ended up getting it published.
Never sell your story. That happened to Brian too. He got asked.
Yeah, it happens a lot.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's fantastic. That's good stuff.
Yeah. So
wow. There was
so interesting.
There was one more book that I did on the murders. It was the murder of L.S. LaPrade, and it got pretty bad. That's one I was talking about, the lynching afterwards. Mm-hmm. The people that they accused of doing this, I don't think they did it. It may be book number 11, but they actually lynched them while the jury was out to deliberate the verdict. So they never were convicted, actually, but they ended up lynching them, off the courthouse. So that's another book, another something to work on to try to try to prove they didn't do it.
Right. I love stories like that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I had my first paranormal experience when I was 6 years old, right after my uncle passed away, on the tractor.
Okay, that was actually my next question was, yeah, why or when did you become interested in cryptids, the unknown, or the spiritual and paranormal? That was my other question to both of you.
I saw my first full body apparition when I was 11 years old. And excuse me, I'm not gonna lie, it terrified me. I'm not lying. I got my head up on the cover and I stayed there for a long time afterwards.
Oh yeah, like you don't. I remember being a kid and being scared like that. You're too scared to get up, go to the bathroom or anything.
Right.
You don't want to put your feet on the ground underneath your bed or anything.
Yeah, there was this. I just woke up. Something woke me up, and I just looked up, and I was laying in bed, and there was a woman standing there, a girl standing there by the window, and the window was open, just like just like a double sash window was open, and the curtains, were blowing in the wind. So was her hair, and her gown was doing the same thing. But you could see her, but she's just like a smoky image. You could make out it was a woman, but and I woke my brother up, and we kind of thought at first maybe my sister, but my sister was a pretty heavy set woman, and this girl was real slender and young, and but anyway, we said something to the landlord about it. I guess a day or two later, and found out that his aunt had burned up in that house. The back part of the house where our bedroom was the part that burned off the house, and his aunt had burned up in the house.
Wow.
But the bad part was the window in the house was also part of the ghost, because there was no window there in the house. It was just a blank wall there, but evidently when the old house had burned, there was a window there at one time. I thought that was odd.
It's kind of
But
like
my first
residual
ghost
kind,
hunting.
kind of like a residual kind of thing.
Yeah. I talked to I tried to do some research on it. I talked to the people that lived there before we did and after we did, and nobody had seen anything. It may have been residual for that one night, the anniversary of the fire, maybe, and they were just maybe away from home or slept through it or didn't see it or something, maybe, so it was I consider that a residual.
Wow, that's very cool. What about you, Kyle? What sparked your interest?
I've been interested in this stuff since I was a kid, man. I was that kid who, when we went to the library, I went directly to the section with the monster books and the books that had, the pictures of Nessie, the fake pictures of Nessie, obviously now, and anything that had to do with ghosts or any of this stuff. And then, as I got more interested in this stuff, it just grabbed me even more. I've had some weird things happen, some exciting things and scary things, and including, like last night. We were out last night, and that's more what I do more of now, is more of the investigating, going out to these locations with my buddies, Alex and Brian, um, uh, Alex Petikoff from Small Town Monsters, and then Brian and Chewy Go Hiking are their channels there, and we all live within a couple hours of each other, so, and we all have this affinity for a lot of the New England legends, right? Because this is where we grew up, and it's not an area that's studied much. It's not an area that gets a whole lot of attention, and so we really want to try to bring attention to it and let people know, like, these things are here too. I know that people wouldn't think, Connecticut, Massachusetts, that these are areas that you would find Sasquatch in, but they're here. I've found, well, I don't want to say plenty of evidence, but I've been fortunate enough to find multiple different trackways. I've had crazy audio recordings. Last year, I was able to record overnight. Well, actually, it was through the weekend. It was two nights. I recorded these screams that are just otherworldly. I've never heard anything like it. They don't match any known animal. They've been, run through the what's the app there that compares the sound waves to any animals that are, local to the area and even outside the area.
Right.
And nothing matches. The decibel levels are just way too crazy. They're off the charts. So we don't know what it is. You can only speculate, right? What it is. It sounds like it's ape like.
Right.
And it's very loud.
We've learned recently that, we've heard it before, but we've definitely learned recently that, like, let's say Bigfoot Sasquatch, for instance, is known to mimic other animals, howl like a wolf, but it sounds different. Mimic an owl, but it sounds different.
Oh,
so they know to mimic other animals.
Yep.
So
I think they do that just to throw people off.
Yeah.
I think so much of what they are about is, anything that has an intelligence level like they have, they're going to have curiosity like we do. And so the way that we want to see them and want to know what they're doing, I think it's mirrored. They want to know what we're doing. They see us in the woods and they're like, what are they doing out here? And what are these things? Let's go get a closer look. And to do that, I think a lot of times they mimic these animals because it's worked for them. People go, oh, what was that? There's an owl over there. Let's go check the owl out. Or there's coyotes in the area. Let's go see if we can see one of them. And it works for them. But you're right. It sounds like it, but not quite like it. There's something always a little bit off.
Right.
So I was going to ask.
Well, why did you?
I want to ask something real quick.
Okay.
I want to try to, help our guests out. if someone in chat, maybe you or one of the other mods, could you please drop Dewey's channel link and Encrypted Connections channel link? And could someone please get us a current status of how many subscribers each channel has? I know Dewey was just under 100. Let's blast him past 100.
Yeah, we need to get him up there.
125, 130. We got a pretty good crowd in here.
So I did do Dewster's earlier, but I'll do it again. Then I'm gonna do Kyle's.
Okay, yeah. So Nick just dropped Dewey's link. If someone could click that and let me know exactly how many subscribers he's sitting at, I would appreciate that very much. We'll see what kind of.
We need to get Dewey up there. Dewey. Well, Dewey admit. I mean, we talked about this the other day. For a while, Dewey you weren't doing a lot on the channel. Recently, you've been doing a lot more. Yeah,
I've been putting a few little videos and things on there. I'm about run out of stuff paranormal to put on. I got to do kind of pick my brain some more and put a few things on there. But I kind of bounce back between a history of the county, and a few things weird things that happened in the county and things like that. And then anything paranormal I can find, I'll put on there.
Right.
All right. So Dewey's at 97. Let's short-term goal. Let's get him to 100, but let's try to get him to 120. I think we can do it. We have quite a few people in here.
Yeah. Get him there.
And also,
that would be great.
Ooh, this is his book cover.
Yeah. I'm trying to get the link into chat. Okay. But it's coming up minus 54 characters more than what we're allowed to put in. Do you guys know how to get that to go into a live chat from Amazon? For like, how do you send people to your book?
Okay, well, how about this, Dewey? Do you have all your books linked in your channel?
I have a Facebook page called Soggy Bottom Bookstore. Soggy, like the Soggy Bottom Boys, Soggy Bottom Bookstore.
Yeah.
I think I've seen Soggy Bottoms in our chat before. Now, was that you?
Uh-huh.
In
Probably
this
was. My wife has a sewing shop called Soggy Bottom and Broadway and Sewing. I have a Soggy Bottom Creations where I do my metal yard art and stuff like that. So, and my bookstore is Soggy Bottom Bookstore.
I think I've seen Soggy Bottoms over here.
So it looks like we got him pushed back past 100. And Kyle is at 1.32, according to our friend Carson. Let's see if we can get him to that next. Can we get him to 1.4? I don't know.
I just want to comment real quick. Katina said, we were talking about the Bigfoot thing. She said an evolutionary time lapse. I think it's a really good description of what we were talking about. I've never heard it put like that before, but it's a really interesting way of putting it. Sorry, just had to say that.
No, it's good. It's good.
Yeah, Bushcraft, I'm not familiar with the whole tiny URL thing. Bushcraft, me with technology.
I don't know what the heck that is either. What's a tiny URL?
I know what it is. I just don't know how to do that.
No clue what it is. Yeah.
I have no idea what that is.
Yeah, I have a hard time. Oh, geez, what am I doing?
So Dewey, you cover paranormal stuff along with, well, both of you do paranormal stuff along with cryptid stuff. I had a couple questions specific to the paranormal side of it. Okay. I love talking about cryptids and researching cryptids. I have always had. I do not enjoy researching the paranormal. It's just something that I stay away from because it's like I feel like if I poke around enough in the darkness, something's going to reach back. Right. And I don't want that. So that's the question I have for both of you. First of all, do you think it's real? And do you think, or have you had any experiences with attachments? Do you think that's a real thing?
I'm pretty sure it's a real thing. I've never had anything attached to me. We always try to take all the precautions we can. Mostly it's just me and my wife when we go out, But we always we'll always pray before we go into the house or whatever we're going to, We'll always pray and ask for a divine light to protect us and things like that. And then I always tell them when we're leaving, if you're going to stay here, don't follow me home. Stay here, don't follow me home. And then we do another prayer before we leave, But so far, I have 3 spirits in my house right now the man and woman that built my house. They're still here.
Oh,
And there's
okay.
some little girl, and I have no idea who she is. The only kid I know that this couple had is still alive, and she lives in Florida. But this little girl, she speaks to us every once in a while, and something that calls me by name, and it can disguise its voice as my wife's voice, and it also calls her and using my voice. So
Nope.
it has some intelligence to it, you know.
That is
we've
creepy.
had I was sitting here at the computer one night, where I'm sitting at now, and I heard this voice, this little girl's voice, say "Mama," you know, just like that, you know. I thought,
I'm out.
who said that? I mean, you know, there's nobody here, you know, and they had to come through the garage to get into that part of the house, and the garage door was down, you know, nobody to get in. So I just sat there, you know, kept doing what I was doing. I think I was writing on one of my books, and in a few minutes it goes, "Mama," you know, that tone of voice, you know. And I just said, "What?" You know, to see if it would answer, you know, nothing. You know. So I go in the other room and ask my wife, I said, "Did you say something?" She says, "No." "Oh, you didn't say mama?" She said, "No, why would I say mama?" You know, something did. So that night, I was laying on the couch. I done fell asleep watching TV. And wife woke me up and she says, "Did you hear that?" And I said, "Hear what?" I was asleep. And she says, "You didn't hear that little girl?" I said, "No." She says, the little girl looked at me and says, "Can't you see us? We're alive," you know, just plain as day, you know. Of course, I didn't hear it, you know. We've had several orbs streak through the house and things like that, you know, but they don't, I kind of got a deal with them. They don't bother me. I don't bother them. So y'all stay in your part of the house. We see the lady that used to live here. She comes out of our little bathroom, and goes across the hall. It goes through the pantry and into the other room.
Through the walls.
Through the wall.
Yeah.
And I found out from a girl that it's her mother and father, found out from her that where our bathroom is now was once their kitchen. And where the pantry wasn't there. And it was for the wall it was the door to their bedroom. So she's going from the kitchen to the bedroom, or so she thinks she is, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But we see her pretty regular. She's always dressed in like a gray house coat, Dewster, or whatever you call him. Now the man, I see him. I've never seen him inside the house, but I've seen him several times outside. He's either wearing a Sunday suit, or a blue jumpsuit, a red jumpsuit, or overalls and a t-shirt, you know. And I've seen him several times outside. In fact, he kind of look around. He kind of sneaks up on you, you know.
Yeah.
But the little girl, I have no idea who she is. Now, when I was remodeling my house, I went outside and I was building we had a garage built, and they wouldn't connect it to my house because the roof lines were different and all this kind of stuff. Was their excuse. So anyway, I built the room. I went outside. I got my vinyl siding put on, the shutters and everything on, and I went out front to make a picture of it to show my daughters. And I brought it back in to put it on the computer, and I look, and there's something in the window. And I look at it, and it's this old gray-headed woman standing there with glasses. You can see her hair, glasses, and everything. And she's a little girl standing in front of her. She's got like a little bonnet on her head. And she's standing there, and the woman's got her hands on the little girl's shoulders, and the little girl's head's kind of cocked off the side, you know. And I can see I'm plain as day, you know. And so I immediately run in real quick. Of course, there's nothing in there, you know. And I got a couple of my little meters and stuff. I wasn't getting any kind of signal at all, you know. So, you know, I just passed it off as, you know, I guess we were upsetting them. But the scary part now, tell you this, I bought one of those spirit boxes.
Oh no!
Hadn't ever fooled with it too much. I wanted it come with either a flat speaker, which is what I wanted, or it come out with a little golf ball shaped speaker. It plugs in the side. No way to lay a microphone on it. So I ordered me a new set of speakers for it, and I was sitting in there one day playing with it, and I had it turned up kind of loud to see how loud it would go. And my wife come in and says, "What are you doing?" And I said, "I'm trying to get to see if these speakers are going to work." And she says, "Well, let me try it." So I handed it to her, and she said, it says, is anybody here with us? And this man's voice says, P. And she says, P. And it says, we. Pee Wee was the guy that built my house. He was the guy that built dead in the floor where my recliner is sitting at, right where I was sitting at. You know? Yeah. And so they talked a little bit. She asked, if he was, if they were ill about us remodeling the house and stuff like that, or asked if they liked what we were doing to the house, and he said yes, And so she asked him a few more questions, and he quit answering. And she said, well, is anybody else there with you? This little cat's voice goes, meow, real faint, And we had a cat that had never been outside in a day in its life but once. The neighbor's dog killed it. We had it about 14 years, something like that. The neighbor's dog killed it. So anyway, his name was Pootie. And she says, Pootie, is that you? And he went, meow, a little bit louder, And she says, oh, you can do better than that for Mama, can't you? And that thing went, meow. It was loud. The hair on my arm stood up. Dolores got to crying. And I turned that spirit box off, and it was off for probably 6 or 8 months before I turned it back on again. It was unnerving a little bit, to say the least, But
unnerving. Yeah, I think that's a mild way of doing it.
I did I started out with the paranormal. I didn't really get involved into the cryptid part of it until I started going to Land Between the Lakes with Martin Groves, my friend, and I helped him. He wrote his book, all that kind of stuff, and I kind of got involved into the. That's when I started doing my cryptid book, and it just kind of branched out from there. UFOs and things like that. So I'm more or less trying to stay into the paranormal / UFO part of it now. As far as I still get involved in the dog man and the Bigfoot and all, but I'm gonna try to concentrate most of my energy mostly on the UFOs and all now. Just disclosures coming out and things like that. So I'm gonna try to stay close to that, but I'm still gonna do my other stuff too. But
yeah. It's like we get a lot of weird lights in the sky and a lot of weird stuff up here up on the mountain, and it's just odd. That actually it's questions for both of you guys too. I've been noticing everyone I listen to, whether I read it or I'm listening to it on YouTube, or there's a couple of people I listen to elsewhere, but again, mostly read. There's some, like, I mean, our house, you might as well say it's a tree house. We have so many trees close to our house.
Mm-hmm.
Like the one out back that we just had taken down, not this past June, but the June before. Yeah. No, we got it taken down in like May or April, March or April. But we were still taking care of this tree in June. So this thing was 118 feet. Mm-hmm. It's a white pine.
Ooh. Wow.
Yeah. Well, that was about 8 feet from our back patio.
It's a big one.
And like we have one out front that's about 8 feet from the front of the house,
Mm-hmm.
So like we have these trees all around us. But there's something about pines that I have picked up. And I don't know if it bothers me or if it's just more of, I guess I need a validation. There's something about, especially Bigfoot, something about pine forests. And I could be wrong, but that's...
there's something that draws me to pine forests. I mean, I don't know why, like really, I'm drawn there. I just think it's number one, they're gorgeous, right? Pine forests are beautiful. It's so quiet in there with the pine needles on the ground and so peaceful. But I think it's just a perfect kind of habitat for anything like that to live. You hear so many times the color variations in these things. The color that I hear the most is auburn. That's the color I hear more than any other color when we're talking about Bigfoot. And what color are pine needles when they're dead? They're auburn. What color are cedar trees? They're a reddish auburn color, right?
Yeah.
So you're talking about the perfect color to camouflage something like that. If they're this, I mean, even if it's black, there's low light in these areas, even during the day, because the canopy is so thick. So it makes perfect sense that there'd be a great area for them. Plus, these trees are huge; they get massive. You know, old growth pines and cedars, they get so big. A perfect thing to hide behind. Or, I mean, I don't believe a lot of. I don't think when these things are adults that they climb trees often. I think it's going to be difficult for a 1,000-pound creature to be hanging out in a tree branch.
Yeah.
Unless the tree is a redwood or something really strong. But pines are not really strong trees. They're pretty soft wood, same as cedar.
Our white pines, though, I will say, we had a branch from our pine as big as me around.
Well, see, okay, there you go. That's something that could probably support something like that. Yeah. I just don't think as being that big that it makes much sense for them to be up in the trees as adults. I think when they're juveniles, absolutely. What do we do when we're kids, right?
Oh yeah,
we're climbing trees, jumping around, you know. So I think it's the same thing with them. I think it makes perfect sense for them to be honing that skill and that agility as they're young. When they get older, they don't need to.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah,
I truly believe they spend more time close to the ground as they get older. I really do. I think that I think that they'll get down on all fours and crawl around. People talk about how they see them spider crawl, and they move so perfectly and so easily. To me, that makes way more sense. Way more sense.
And the pine needles are soft to walk on. They're quiet.
Yeah.
You know, not like leaves. You know, like oak leaves would be. You know, through the woods.
Yeah.
If I was going to take a nap in the woods, it would be on some pine needles or in a mossy area, because it's the softest places to take a nap. So makes sense.
So I, not to change things up a bit, but I have a question for both of you, and I'm very interested to see what chat says, and Carson in particular. I want to know what you guys think on this. If you could pick, this is a good question. If you could pick one cryptid, any kind, that you would least want to ever run into, what would it be?
Oh, Dogman, 100%.
Dogman, 100%.
100%. There's
not even a question.
Hesitate.
You didn't even hesitate.
No, I don't want anything to do with those things. I want nothing to do with them.
Well, I've encountered werewolf in my dreams from like way when I was little, like before I would even know what a werewolf or a vampire is. I wanted to read that. Sorry, that's why. Grams. Yeah.
Funny bushcraft.
What happened? Oh, yeah.
Oh, there's some good ones coming now. Salty.
Yeah. I would agree with you guys. So, like, even living here where we're at, Bigfoot, his work vehicle is got a ladder on top. And the only thing that's missing in my dream here, and this is what's really weird, you know,
that one. That's mine.
That's a good one.
That's a very good one. I knew where he was going.
That one's creepy too.
Yeah.
In my dream, this werewolf, come over of like a van with like a big ladder on it. The only thing that's missing is like a basketball hoop at the end of the driveway. Like, and like the woods where we are and everything, like everything here is set up to like where my dream was back when I was 4, 5, 6 years old, which is super creepy. It's really creepy. So I gotta say werewolf. Yeah. Wendigo.
The Wendigo is terrifying. The Wendigo is terrifying.
Wendigo is super creepy. Any kind of shape-shifting thing. Yeah.
I want to say something real quick. Can I just go back, because Dewey talked about the paranormal stuff, and I'm not going to take a lot of time, but so I don't go out looking for paranormal stuff. I'm with you, Josh. It's not something I want purposely anything to do with. The thing about this stuff is that it's like fishing. You may go to a lake and you may fish for bass, and the bass may not want what you got that day, but you may pull up a rainbow trout, right? So you may go out looking for Sasquatch, and Sasquatch may go, I don't want anything to do with you today. But something else out there may say, well, I like what they're doing, so let's get close. And that thing may be something paranormal. You just don't know.
Yeah, you never know.
You have no idea, because where these Sasquatch and cryptids are, paranormal stuff is too. My mom's gonna kill me when I talk about this, because she hates it. She doesn't want anything to do with the paranormal, and I don't either. I get it. But there's been 2 times now where I've been out in one of my primary research areas, and it's an area that there was conflict between Native Americans, First Nations people, and English settlers. Very violent conflicts.
Right.
And twice that I've been out there, I've heard a woman chanting in Native American language. I've heard clear as day. I mean, perfectly clear, to the point where like I freaked out and was like, I thought I was going crazy. I'm like, what is happening right now? And I took off, I left. I'm like, I'm out of here. I cannot hang around here. I got goosebumps right now talking about it. And that was the first and only place I've ever seen an orb in my life, was during that first time that I heard that chanting. So I don't go out looking for that stuff. I don't want to have had attachments. No, maybe only from crazy exes. But so I don't want anything else. Like, I don't need any other attachments with this stuff. Like, no, thank you. You can keep it. You just don't know what you're going to get. That's the problem. It's a crapshoot.
Yeah, you never know.
Yeah, and it seems like more like different people. I don't know. It seems like out of like a group of people, it just seems like there's some people who are more sensitive to see different things. I don't know.
Yeah, 100%.
That was 100%. The thing I wanted to touch on too. Do you think? I mean, everyone's special. Yeah, everyone is special. But what makes?
Thanks.
You're welcome. But what makes certain people, different? I don't want to use the word special, because everyone is. What's different about certain people at a young age who see things, and somehow that there's like that veil, and it's thinner for other people than others. So but then for others, it happens later in age, maybe, or there's an event, or they're at a place at a certain time that it happens. Do you guys get what I'm saying?
I think the younger thing, like when you're younger, I think that everybody has the ability to see these things. And I think a lot of times when kids have imaginary friends, they're not so imaginary. When you're young, number one, you haven't had time to become jaded, right? You're so innocent, you're so pure,
right.
You see the world in a totally different way, right? And you're closer physically in time. You're closer to when you were born into this world, so you're closer to that veil, right? So I think that has something to do with it. The further you get on, the more jaded we get, the more that this horrible world that it can be just kind of eats you up and spits you out over and over again, and you start to get jaded to all these things, and it pulls you further away from where you came from, both physically and spiritually. And then as you get older, you get closer back to death now, right? So in the beginning, it's birth. So when you're younger, you're closer to birth, but it's still the same thing, the veil. As you get older, you're closer to death. You're closer to that veil again. And I think that's why it happens to people who are older also. I don't know about the in-between. I think there's a lot of variables as to why certain people have experiences in their whole life and others don't. I don't know what that is. I have no idea. You can only speculate. But Dewey, what do you think?
That's very interesting. That's pretty smart, Kyle. I gotta say.
Like Bushcraft just mentioned in chat.
Yeah, check out Bushcraft's comment and let me know what you think.
Dude, I have to talk about this real quick, because this is something that I've talked about multiple times. There is something about to me, there's something about not just autistic people. There's something about people who have special needs, that I believe that this stuff can happen to the autistic folks. I think it's easier for them to communicate in certain ways about what's happening. A lot of people with special needs they can't physically speak, but I like this autistic thing. There's something to it. There really is. I've had multiple people talk to me about how their autistic child has had these crazy experiences, both with the paranormal. And I had a gentleman on my show who had 4 Bigfoot, 4 Sasquatch living in the woods around his property. And after his daughter was born, who they ended up finding out later had autism, these things started coming to the house over and over again and watching her play. They would come during the day. They would come right up to the yard, and they didn't even try to hide. Like, these things were all like standing on the side of the. He's got pictures of these. It's the craziest thing. The story. If you've never heard this guy, like, I'll tell you about it after the show. It's one of the crazy. I got goosebumps right now talking about it. But these things had such an interest in her. And he had 3 kids, but they were so focused on her. One of the theories about the Sasquatch, specifically, Christopher Noel talks about this theory that there's a link to them and autism. Their behaviors, and I've worked with autistic people for many years, and that's why I talk about this, because so much of it rings true. Their behaviors mimic so many behaviors, typical behaviors of autistic children and people. If you know about the autism spectrum, it varies greatly, but there's there's a lot of like things have to be a certain way. If things get out of that way, autistic people become very uncomfortable, right? Things have to be just right.
Right.
If they're not just right, it can ruin their day.
Yeah.
So there has to be this order. Then there's these behaviors of like stacking things, building things. It's a comforting thing for them. Same with the rocking. There's this rocking motion that's very typical. Now, think about this. What do people talk about when they see Bigfoot? They say they see him behind trees and they're swaying back and forth, right?
Mm-hmm.
What are these Bigfoots? What are they accused of doing constantly? Stacking rocks, building structures with sticks. And these things have to be in such a certain way. If interaction with these things, people will leave stuff out on their porch, and the Bigfoots will go mess with it and put it in a certain like pattern. And if these people go back and mess with those things, they'll come back a couple of days later, and the Sasquatch will go put it right back in that same pattern. Like it screwed them all up to that you came along and you messed with that order that they had there. So I don't know what it is, but there is some kind of connection, 100% in my mind, between autism and this stuff. I don't know why. Sorry.
Yeah, my grandsons are, well, one of them is a lot worse than the other. Well, I guess different level than the other one is. This is a picture I made of them several years ago. I don't know if you can see it or not. But there they are. Look at that bottom corner.
Oof.
Hold on.
See that?
Yeah, keep that up there a second.
Oh, man.
Yikes.
Yeah.
That looks like another child.
Freaked me out when he said it to me. Totally.
That was
Oof.
That was one of my made, but yeah, it was a.
They've pushing buttons. I don't know what I'm doing again. Wait a minute again. Bigfoot just went to go stretch his legs. We got that older people cricketies in our.
Yeah, I did my
our alarm's going off. I'm sorry. Hold on. Talk amongst yourselves.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I had my first ghost hunting experience, I guess back in 1971. There was a story going around of this woman that had actually had a car accident, and the road was flooded, and she hit the bridge abutment, run off into the river, and Sometimes, some way in the accident, she was beheaded, and they found her body and the car, but they never could find her head. So the story behind this was, if you go to the park on this bridge about midnight, you can see her walking up the creek bank looking for her head. Now, I don't know how anybody without a head could see. You know what they were looking. But anyway, that was the story. But anyway, so we went up there that night. And we parked, and there was 3 or 4 of us in the car, and somebody. I was terrified. I'm not lying. I had a pretty terrifying experience that happened a few weeks before that, but I was still pretty much tore up about that. But anyway, I was sitting there and I had one hand on the switch, one on the light switch, one foot on the brake, and then one foot ready for the gas. And somebody hollered, "There she is!" That's all I need to hear. I fired up, all legs and arms went into motion. I fired the car up, pulled the headlights on, and took off.
Yeah.
So anyway, we went back later on, and I had a little braver then. It may have been the I don't know if it was the Miller ponies or what it was, but anyway, something had my courage up a little more. So we sat there for a while, and sure enough, we seen something coming up the creek bank, and it had the image of like a person walking up the creek bank, and it got pretty close to us. And I was getting ready to leave, and somebody said, "Oh, she can't hurt you as long as you're sitting up on the bridge. She can't bother you." I said, "Yeah, we know that, but does she know that?" Anyway,
yeah, right.
There were so many people up there looking for that the landowners finally closed off the road where you couldn't get back this little bridge. This little bridge was built back in probably the 1700s, little stone arch bridge. But that was my first ghost hunting experience. I had a pretty bad stroke back in 2005. And that's when most of my paranormal stuff really, really kicked in after that. I mean, I guess I had a near-death experience, I guess,
Oh,
and
wow.
I was lucky to come out of it.
I'm really glad you're with us today.
If they hadn't got to me when they did, it's luckily I was about 4 or 5 miles down the road from a hospital. And a friend of mine recognized what was going on, and he called the ambulance. And they got me and took me to the hospital. But it just kind of picked up from that point. I'd had a few experiences beforehand, but nothing like I've been having after that. So
praise God for that.
I think just a near-death experience may have peaked it. I don't know.
So can I quickly share my only paranormal experience?
Sure,
of course.
That time.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
A lot of people know this. I'm an ordained minister, and I have another channel that's all it's a Christian channel. When I think of things like these, what pops into my head is dark and is not good. So when my only experience that I personally had was a shadow, and it was passing directly in front of me. She was in the living room with me, but she didn't really notice it. She just saw me get up because.
Well, my daughter and I we were having some problems again, and I mentioned it to him about it, and so you started praying, right? And then as you did, sorry.
Yeah, this shadow figure, it passed in front of my face while I was sitting in the living room, and I got up and I escorted it right out the front door, and I sealed the front door like in every way that I knew of. In Jesus' name, I sealed the door with oil. I didn't want this in my house. That's my only experience with actually seeing something like that, and that's very eye-opening.
And then I felt bad because this is something I've gone through since I was little, and he had never seen anything like that before. I was glad it was gone. I was feeling pretty heavy and run down and like attacked, like something was on me, like the heavy, like the back of your neck hurts, and you
right
feel
in your energy.
Yeah, and I couldn't. I finally went to my husband and I'm like, look, I'm really having a hard time with this. Like this time, I'm really having a hard time with this. And yeah.
Real quick, I just want to say something. Dana was told you were an empath. Look into indigo children. I don't know when you were born, but I was told I was an empath too, and I always had this question about like why I was so different from most other people in my age group. I just wasn't. I was so different. I knew I was like I just didn't quite fit in, you know. I mean, I could fit in and adjust very well, but I knew that I was different inside. I didn't have the same likes as these people. I didn't. It was just different. And I looked into this indigo children thing, and holy cow, was that checklist? It was all me. So I don't know when you were born. It's usually for people who were born between like, I think the late 60s, early 70s, and the early 90s, I believe. And the most of it was between the 80s and the 90s. So I don't know if that helps, but check it out.
Yeah, being an empath is
it's difficult.
It's a gift, but I always thought it was like a curse until
it's heavy. Yeah,
it is. Yeah. Because like being in a crowded room full of people,
it opens you up to a lot of hurt.
It does, because certain evils like to attach to the empath, and they can drain an empath really quick. But empaths are strong. People mistake empaths for being weak because they're sensitive and different things. But it's usually you break when you've been so strong for so long, is when you break. And you break because you do feel. You take on the feelings that aren't yours today. You know,
oh yeah.
Like you're going on having a great day. You go to the grocery store, and all of a sudden you feel everything. It's like sticky balls that, like, you know, the burdocks just get thrown and they stick to you, and you go home, and it's like you try to shut them off before you walk through your door. You know,
Well, that's why, like, as I got older, you start to you know, as time goes on, if you really focus and you really like read about the stuff and understand a little more, I started to realize why, as I got older, I didn't like crowds. It was because when you go into a crowd as an empath, like the bigger the crowd, the more that you're taking on. If there's 100 people around you, you are taking on so much of that energy, and you feel it instantly. It's like this. It's just like, holy cow! It can just drain you and hurt, and like it's just difficult. You really have to learn how to like put that wall up sometimes, and it's difficult. It's very difficult.
It's a protection boundary.
Yep.
Yeah, it's I mean, wall, tree, you know, waterfall, whatever you got to do, rose bush. Yeah.
Yep.
And then here we are, people like us too, because we're interested creature. You know, we're creatures like of things like when we see or hear things that are unusual. Why are we drawn to figure out what it is? Like, why do we need to do that? Like, or is it because we're just naturally going into the darkness because we want to cast the light and expose it, what's hidden, and be like, you know, here it is. You know what I mean? Like, why do we do that? Like, why do we do that? Like you just heard, my husband's a minister. It does not make us perfect people by any means. We are sinners, and we try to be good. But my husband has told me no one's good. Only Jesus was or is, you know. But so I was like, oh, they're good people. And he's like, no one's good. I'm like, but you're good. He goes, no. He explained that to me one day, and it's like, well, we all fall short. But like, I don't know why. Maybe you guys have a you know, you've been through a lot. Even like, I don't know why do we go? I don't want to poke at anything that pokes back. I don't. You know what I mean? Like, why do we do that? I don't know.
I mean, I don't. I can only speak for myself. You know, it's like I've had that such a deep curiosity in me since I was young. You know, like for any of this stuff that doesn't have answers, the stuff that has answers is boring. It's like, I mean, it's interesting, but it's not. It's like, you know, these answers are even figured out, or Like I am drawn to the stuff that nobody has the answers to. And I have this insatiable need to want to learn, and to want to know more. And especially after you have any kind of these experiences, like I'm sure Dewey, after you had your paranormal experiences, there was this innate thing in you that drove you to want to find those answers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things, like once you have an experience like that, once you're out in the woods and you have something throwing rocks at you, or it's howling at you, it's whooping. Like last night, we went through the gamut for 5 hours straight. We had all kinds of stuff happening, and it just makes you. I mean, it's scary. Don't get me wrong. I don't care what anybody says. Like I'm a big guy. I'm as an ex-fighter, but I'm scared to death out there. It's terrifying. The woods are scary at night. I don't care who you are.
Yeah, they are. Yes.
They are terrifying at night.
What makes it more scary at night, do you think?
It's because it's an evolutionary thing built into us to protect ourselves. It goes back to caveman days. We don't have the ability to see and hear as well as these things that are out there hunting us back then, right? So evolution built this into us to protect ourselves, because the cavemen are out there, they're trying to hunt or whatever, but the predators that were out there with them had way better senses. They could see better, they could smell better, they could hear better. So over time, that's built into them to go, probably not smart to go out at night. You're at a disadvantage. And so that stays with us. That stayed with us until now, and it'll probably stay with us forever, even though most of those predators are gone. So that's why people are scared of the dark. It's evolutionary.
Yeah.
It's not something you can even help. And then some people, I guess, deal with it better, but the woods are creepy at night, period. I don't care. They're creepy.
Like that little bit of fear that we hold, like we're told not to fear, no fear. That little bit of fear that we're left with that we need to keep us alive.
Yeah, you need that. You have to have that.
Yeah.
You have to have that. And you're absolutely right. I'm an adrenaline junkie, so like I like the fear a little bit, you know. It's exciting to me, but at the same time, when I'm out there, I'm like this. I'm constantly looking around. I'm waving the thermal around, trying to make sure nothing's around you. But like you have to, for me, I have to put myself in these positions to try to learn more, because some stuff happens during the day, but more stuff happens at night with the cryptid side of things. Yeah. So that's where I have to be.
Really quick while this is happening.
Yeah.
Okay. Hi, Mike B. If you can still hear me, I haven't been deleting your comments. I don't know what's going on. If I've got like something rogue on the channel with like something going on. But the other day, I actually put up a community post at Mike B. And that, yes, your comments for some reason are being removed from my channel. And I don't know why. I was able to half read it, and it sucks because I've got the screenshot in my phone. So I have to go back and look for it. But you start typing, and then I go to click on it in my studio, and it says that the comment was removed. It's super frustrating. I don't know why that's happening. If somebody is like, you know, going about their day and business and like kind of watching the channel, and if they're like, if you're a moderator or something and accidentally click something, it could remove a comment. But it doesn't seem to be that, because it seems to be only happening to Mike B right now. I super appreciate you. I don't know why your comments are being deleted, because that's happened to friends of mine too, that like in like I see in life that I can touch anytime I want. And it seems to happen to them sometimes too. And I'm sorry I'm addressing this now, but I just want to make sure that Mike B knows that your comments are not being deleted on purpose. And if it's something the YouTube is doing, I really hope they fix it. Do you guys have that problem on your channel? With certain
I haven't had anyone say anything to me about it. So
no, I haven't either.
Oh, it's been happening to two people, Mike B and somebody else. I don't know why.
There's a lot of there's a lot of things that have happened. I haven't had that happen, but I've had a lot of other things happen with YouTube where notifications don't come through often. I've been unsubbed to channels without even knowing it, like 30 channels at one time, which would seem absolutely crazy to me.
Right.
I just wanted to ask real quick, if you don't mind.
Oh, go ahead.
The Nut House earlier had asked a question in the chat. It said "no mystery, Kyle," and I don't know. I just want to know what they meant. I didn't understand the question.
Oh, that's Peanut.
I just didn't understand it, so I didn't see it until now. So I try to answer if I can. But.
Oh, yeah, Peanut. What did you mean by what was it? No mystery.
It said no mystery, Kyle. So I just wanted to, if I can answer, I'll answer as much. Obviously any question I can. Dewey couldn't get back in your channel. Yeah, YouTube is it's a screwy place. That you are not interested in other stuff because there's no mystery. Yeah, probably. Yeah, there isn't. Yeah, I mean, I'm interested in things. Don't get me wrong. Like, I love history. I'm a history nut. But the mystery is part of the driving factor that why I push so hard, why I put myself in positions that may be dangerous. The mystery adds interest. 100%. That's right. 100%.
Okay, this is where I feel like a little kid right now. Mom and Dad are home from their date. The kids were out a little bit later than usual. Just kidding. No, as most people know, my parents have recently come to live with us. We don't know what's going to happen from here, whether we're going to do a parents' cottage on our property or if they have a house. They have a house, a very large house. And it just has, long story short, for anyone that knows when it happened, my dad is now on oxygen on and off, more on than off. There's certain things at their old, over 100-year-old Victorian home, it's a historian manor, that he cannot take anymore. He can't do the wood stove anymore. He can't do a lot of things anymore, obviously, because of the oxygen. So we're trying to make it as comfortable as we can and no one walking on eggshells, because if they walk on eggshells, I'm going to be on eggshells. So it's been really hard doing YouTube lately. They don't mind that at all. And I just want to let you guys know when they come in, and it's going to get a little loud.
Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Well, I hope your dad gets better. And
he's doing much better. Actually,
good,
he's doing much better. And they were actually both sick, and then we all got sick too. But they're doing much better. Yeah.
It's just scary times I think we're living in. Just things are just, there's just a lot going on out there that's not great.
Yeah,
I mean, don't get me wrong. There's a lot of great out there too, but there's just, to me, it feels like there's a lot of stuff going on in this world that is just bad. It's just bad, and it's the worst that I've seen it in my lifetime. So scary times.
It is. Can you hear?
Heard something.
It's my mom. Yeah.
Oh.
So yeah, I would love to have you guys back if you guys wouldn't mind.
Of course.
Sure.
I would love to hear more of all of it. I've got so many more questions.
Anytime.
Really?
Anytime, absolutely.
Yeah. All right, awesome. I'm super excited.
Absolutely.
And, I really appreciate you guys, and thank you TH2 and Bushcraft for posting those links, and Ark Wildman, and thank you to all of our moderators. You guys are awesome, and everyone in chat is awesome.
Yeah, amazing. Great chat. Can I plug something real quick? Can I plug one thing?
Please.
Please. Okay, so again, please go buy Dewey's book on Amazon. You will not be disappointed. I own 4 of your books now.
4 out of the 10.
I think so.
4, and they're all amazing. I don't just say this; they're written so well. They are very easy reads. It's not something where you have to sit down and like you're struggling through. They're great reads. So please go buy his books, especially the new one. He put so much darn work into this thing, and I really want to see that work. I just want him to know that it paid off as most as it could. And then if you go to my channel, please go watch the newest video, not the live, not the interview stuff, the video. It's called The Corner. It was the last investigation we did. It was out on the where New York, Massachusetts, and Connecticut meet, and it's a very creepy area. It's home to like the Winstead Wildman stuff from back in the 1800s, before there was ever a Bigfoot. Ever, there was no Bigfoot back then. It was Wildman. And we did an investigation there. It's going to be ongoing for the next year or two, a long-term investigation. And I made a short-term video on it. I actually, like this one, I'm really proud of, where I'm really difficult about my stuff on myself. And then I will be doing another one about the investigation we had last night, which was bananas. I mean, like legit crazy. I did a live there for 45 minutes. So if you want to check that out, check that out. It's interesting.
Yes.
Sorry.
And anyone that came in late, Dewey has his own channel, but also is Kyle's co-host, because Kyle needs grounding like I do. Right. So in there, everyone's posting the links in the chat. But in case you don't catch them on your phone or on your laptop, you go to more underneath the video title. You go to more. And right there, I have posted everything you need to know about Kyle and Dewey.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Crazy Irish.
Yeah,
posted the video. Thank you so much, guys. Appreciate
thank you, Crazy Irish, for posting the video he's talking about.
I tried to post my email address into the chat, but it wouldn't let me. I'll put it in the comments after the show's over.
Oh, don't put it in the comments. Do you see the live and then it says start? Yours should say, over here to the side. It's on the right. See where it says like comments? There's two buttons.
Well, I can't see it on this screen, but yeah, I can see it when I go to the YouTube channel. I can see
You're gonna put your email in chat, is what you're saying?
Yes. If somebody wants one of my books signed,
okay.
I keep them here at the house too. I have them all available except for my latest one, and I'm reserving those 25 copies for my book signing. It's going to happen a week from today.
Oh, that would be cool to go to one of your book signings.
So, all of them are available except that one. But after the first of the year, that will be available too. You can look on my Facebook page, the Soggy Bottom Bookstore, and it kind of give you a description and the price and all. The only thing by me shipping them out is there'll be a $5 postage and shipping charge, added on to the regular price of it, So
right.
They're available on Amazon, also at my house here, and what was I going to say now? But anyway,
Dewey signs when he signs the books, he signs them in finger paint.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they're available in a hardback, softback, and ebook, and I also have 3 or 4 of them available on Audible.
Yes,
my daughter did the Bell Witch phenomenon book for me, and she did a lot of work for Disney, a few voiceovers and things like that. So she did a great job doing that. So
my
got a little
teachers
studio set up in her house, so she did a great job doing that.
That's so super cool that somebody actually did that, because my teachers used to tell me to go do that when I was younger, and I never did it. And a couple of teachers my daughters have all had my teachers, and now they're all retired, and I see them sometimes, the ones that are still here with us. They're like, why don't you go to Disney? Just walk in and say hi. But that's so cool that she's done that. Like I never went and did that. Too shy. I mean, I know I don't seem shy, but I'm actually pretty shy. Did you want me to put your email in chat, or you'll?
Yeah, it's Ghost Hunter. It's easy to remember. GhostHunter911@gmail.com.
Oh, I can't spell ghost. Jeez. Ghost. Ghost Hunter 911. Oh, that's also, I believe,
at gmail.com.
I think I did put that in the description. And that's for Dewey.
Thank you guys. Thank you guys for all your support tonight.
Yes, thank you.
You
Thank
and
you very
Josh.
much.
You know I love you guys so much.
You guys are
Thank
awesome.
you for the chat too. The chat, you guys are amazing. I really appreciate you.
I want to do this again with you guys because I feel like
anytime.
Come on,
anytime.
anytime. Really,
You're welcome, Nighthawk.
Yeah. Thank you, Dragon.
I guess when we're over here, he's Dragon, and when you're chilling, you're Dragon.
That's right.
They kind of,
can pick my name when I'm on my channels, like
I kind of like the nickname Dewey has for you though.
Oh yeah, old sugar mouth.
Old sugar mouth.
Our sweet lips, sugar mouth. That was great. That was great.
Again, we have differing opinions on why my nickname is Sugar Mouth. I say it's because everything that comes out of these lips is just so sweet. But
Yeah, I'm gonna post one more link in the chat because we've gone tonight from Bigfoot's Does Dig Deeper Ministry to Bushcrafts to here, and now at 10 p.m. Eastern time, the Nut House is going to be live.
Oh, okay, right on.
We've had a full night tonight. Yeah,
for sure.
I just posted the link in chat and
sweet.
Hello, darling. What would you like?
There you go.
Want to come say hi to everybody?
Oh, I like the shirt already. I like the shirt. Go blue.
Hello.
This is Allie. Well, Kyle and everyone knows her, but Dewey. This is Dewey, Allie.
Glad to meet you.
God, when is the last time she looks so much older.
She's a senior.
Good golly, Miss Molly.
I know. She's a senior now, so it's crazy.
I'm a senior, but I look much older.
Well, thank you. So yeah, everybody, thank you for coming to hang out. I hope you guys come back when we have the Dewster and the Kylester up again. Allie.
And you guys will have to come back on the show too. We'll definitely have you guys back on soon.
Definitely.
It's always fun. We always have laughs when you guys are on.
She's put my name right. Oh, yes. ALLIEGH. This is very important to Allie. So, because on this channel, she's gone from Littlefoot, and she hated that. So, to Allie, it's confusing because the English way is EI, and we spell it IE, and it's not short for anything. It's just Allie. All right. Well, anyways,
I like it.
I'm gonna end it here. And thank you guys again for coming out. It was a lot of fun. And we will see you soon. Tomorrow morning. Vineyard Chicks, Joyful Noise and Notes are doing praise and worship at 10:30 a.m. Eastern time on Joyful Noise and Notes. And then after that, we're going to go over to Dig Deeper Ministry at 11 o'clock, 11:05 for Bible study in church in the morning. So
Happy New Year, everybody. Hope you have a wonderful New Year.
Happy New Year, everybody.
And Happy New Year.
Be careful. God bless everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. God bless. Be safe.
Yes, God bless.